welcome to my YouTube channel, and also welcome to the episode that will find the answer to the question, can you use tea light to boil water? And this is how we're gonna find out. I have my S-bit emergency stove here loaded with 3 tea candles. We are gonna use this aluminum cup to boil the water. We will use 250 milliliters. Of course, we got a lighter, some matches, an alternative stove, got a measuring cup, got 1 liter of water, and we got also a barbecue thermometer. And the current water temperature is around 22 degrees Celsius. Okay. So, to start off, we will light the tea lights. It's getting hot. Okay, let this burn for a second while we fill up the water. Okay, put the scale around. Okay, let me keep this in frame for you, hopefully. So on the left side the scale is for water. And on the right you also have the milliliters. Okay, so this is a quarter liter. We're going to fill this in to the aluminum cup. Okay, get that on there, and then we get back in our thermometer. Okay, right now this is sitting on the ground, so let me adjust this. It's not touching the ground, so it is really measuring the water temperature. Okay, the reason I decided to go with this stove was you have some wind protection. So in a survival situation this could be very, very helpful, because these tea candles often go out under the slightest of wind conditions. And I also decided to pick 3 because I also tried it with 2 without the thermometer, but yeah, I wasn't really sure. From what I felt, it was between 50 and 60 degrees Celsius, and this is the temperature I reached after 12 minutes of burn time, and then it basically stopped. So you had a few bubbles down there, but it was not the temperature that makes water safe to drink. So I decided to put a 3rd light under there, and I hope we will be able to get this over the 75 degrees Celsius mark and maybe beyond. And the reason because I'm saying 75 degrees Celsius is because this is the, I forgot the word in English, for pasteurization, maybe like this. And basically you hold the temperature of 75 degrees Celsius for about 40 minutes, and then your water is safe to drink, because most of the bacteria, viruses, etc. don't survive the temperature of such a long time period. And these tea candles give you about 4 hours of light each, so you should be able to purify this amount of water like 5 or 6 times. And for one person that's about 1.5 liters, and this will give you an extra day in a survival situation. So I think I will stop talking now. As you see, the temperature already rises. We're at 26 degrees Celsius. and I should have started the timer, but I'm going to do this now, and we're just going to add the amount of time I already wasted talking. So here you go. I will let this sit, and then we just watch and hope we get it done. Okay, we are past the 1 minute mark, and we are at 29 degrees Celsius at the moment. So far so good. And there are of course a few variables if you try to do this on your home. You can adjust the distance between the tea lights and the pot, and already the material of the pot has influence on the heat transition from the actual tea candle to the water. For instance, this aluminum cup is not the ideal choice. So if you want to boil this water, a steel cup, or if you have something, a copper cup would be the perfect choice, because the transition is a lot better. So this cup is not ideal. And also, I don't know if you will be able to see this. Hang on. There is quite some distance between the actual tea candles and the bottom of the pot. So you could adjust this and basically sit this into the flame, and this would also increase the performance and would shorten the heat up time. Speaking of which, I hope I have this back in frame now. We are at 2 minutes and 35 seconds, and we reached 23 degrees Celsius, so we are definitely making some progress. There are some bubbles down the bottom, but not really much going on so far. So I will let this sit, and yeah, we'll be back. Okay, we are at the 8 minutes mark, and as you can see, we are at 43 degrees Celsius. By the way, for the guys in the US, you have to multiply it by 2 times 0.12, so that's about 86 degrees Fahrenheit, if I made the transition right. And well, I thought we were done at minute 12 or 15, but by now I think this will take a little longer. At least if we try to achieve a rolling boil, which I think we won't. At the current state, I would say the tea candles are all burning really good, and yeah, I would say the end temperature we will be able to reach is around 80 or 85 degrees Celsius, which is pretty close to a full boil, so not too bad. And maybe I'm changing out the stove on a second try. I don't know if I will put this up on YouTube, but yeah, okay, so I will be silent again, and we'll see us close to the end. Okay, people, we are at 13 minutes, and I don't know if you will be able to see this, but we have some steam coming up from the water, and the current temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. By now, all the 3 tea lights have liquefied about 2/3 of their wax that's inside. And well, 50 15 minutes won't probably be enough to reach the boiling or pasteurization point of 75 degrees Celsius. So, yeah, we'll find out at the end if this is a valuable survival technique or if it is possible or whatever. So I will be silent again. Okay, people, we are at 20 minutes right now, and as you can see, there is constantly coming more steam up out of the water, and we are at about 56 degrees Celsius right now. Give you a look into the aluminum cup we are cooking in. Not that much bubbles, especially not on the bottom. And I looked inside of our stove, and the first tea candle has liquefied the complete amount of wax that's in it, and the two ones hiding in the back only liquefied about 1/3, and this is because I took two new ones and one that was used, and the flames on the new ones are a little bit larger than the one I used before. So maybe if you had a third fresh tea candle, this would improve the performance of the stove. But by now, every single degree is a real fight. And as we are talking, 1 minute and 15 seconds right now, it climbed only about half a degree. Yeah, which is not very impressive. But we'll continue, and yeah, we'll be back soon. Okay, we are at 25 minutes right now, and we reached 57 degrees Celsius. It's steaming a little bit more than before, but I don't think that we will reach the temperature necessary. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to put the thermometer right on the bottom and see if we can get a reach. Oh, and it's climbing. So you can see instantly. So at the bottom the temperature is a lot hotter. We're at 63 immediately, basically. This is more than we achieved in the last 10 minutes. So I think the test is maybe not over yet. Okay. So I'm just going to let this sit for another 3 minutes and then be back. So 29 minutes are gone and we are sitting at 64 degrees Celsius. It's steaming a lot more than before, and it's still climbing, but it's in micro steps really right now. So if we reach the 75 degrees Celsius mark is really questionable, but yeah, I'm not giving up right now. So I'm going to let this sit till, I don't know, let's see, minute 33rd maybe. And if we made progress, it's good, we continue. And if not, I will declare this a fail. Okay, so stay tuned, we'll see the final result very soon. Okay, we reached 33 minutes and we are stuck at 65 degrees Celsius. So that's 1 degree in about 3 minutes. And I think this is as far as it's gonna go. at least under these conditions. And these were nearly ideal conditions. I mean, keep in mind, the water we used had about 21 or 20 degrees Celsius at the start. So we only heated up 45 degrees Celsius. There is no wind going on here. All of these tea candles were basically completely filled up. If you're out there and you use them for quite a while in a survival situation, you might not be able to light them again for another 34 minutes or so to boil some water, especially if you're not, if you think you can do it and you then realize, no, it's not going to work. This could be potentially fatal, and yeah, maybe you have a little bit more success if you use another stove or another mount to hold your pot, and in an ideal world you might have a steel or copper pot with you, so that the heat transition is a little bit more fluent than in this aluminum one. Especially this aluminum one was used, so it's a little bit dirty under there. So in a perfect world we might be able to reach 66 or 68 degrees Celsius, which still is not enough. And even if we made it, we are now at 35 minutes, and you have to hold this temperature for about 45 minutes. So that's a total of, let's say, 80 minutes. And 80 minutes of your 4-hour lifetime of your candle is really a lot to boil or to get 250 milliliters of drinking water. So I think tea candles are not a good backup for purifying your water. This might be a good technique if you just want one little cup of coffee, or if you want to heat up a meal, or if you just want to use the tea candle for light purposes or for assisted fire lighting. This would be a good option, but it's definitely not worth spending all the time and energy on trying to purify and boil the water. And as we are talking, we are at minute 36 in the next few seconds. We are talking for 3 minutes now. We are at 65.5 degrees Celsius. So it is still slightly going up, but I think we are not going to make it to the 75 degree goal, you could say. So I would recommend not using this technique in a survival situation, especially in most survival kits that you see out there. There's only one tea candle, so that's not even possible or thinkable. I mean, we used 3 right now, and you see the result for yourself. Okay, I hope you've still found this entertaining, and thanks for watching. Bye bye. Okay, one quick addendum that I didn't thought about in the process of setting up this experiment. We are about 40 minutes in the process, and we are at 66 degrees Celsius. And I thought, hey, a pot and a matching cover for this would be a great idea. So I got myself some aluminum foil, and I'm just going to close the top right now and stick the thermometer through it, so that we actually might be able to get the process going a little bit more. Hopefully without lighting this complete place on fire. Oh, a little bit too much. It's always a good thing to walk around the camera. Okay, and aluminum foil, as we all know, is pretty common in a survival kit. So I don't make this up. Okay, this should be fine. Now let's get this back in. poke a hole, get the clock back into play, and let's see. Okay, I will keep recording if the battery allows it, because right now it's already blinking. So I hope that, oh yes, now we are making progress. We are at minute 41 and we are at 69 degrees Celsius. So with the matching pot cover, it gets in the range of plausible. We are at 70. Okay, 42 minutes. Now it's getting really fast. Okay, that's kind of cool. But it makes perfectly sense. In a cooking show I heard that a pot cover saves you about 25% of the energy. So if we calculate this right, we heated this up about 45 degrees Celsius plus 25%. This would be an extra of at least 10 degrees Celsius. So the 75 is totally possible. And we should be able to reach 77, 78 degrees Celsius, which would be enough. And if we would repeat the whole experiment with the pot cover on top at the start, I bet the heat up time would be a lot faster, at least this 25% that you save. So, haha, this myth is not busted, you could say. Okay people, we just reached the 75 or almost the 76 degrees Celsius mark, and this happened at minute 45 and 40 seconds. And this is, I screwed up the start, to be honest with you. I didn't even thought of the pot cover, but that's pretty obvious after I thought about this, because this reduces the heat up time dramatically and the efficiency goes up rapidly. Well, right now the current state is all of the 3 candles liquefied the whole amount of wax. I would say the 2 new ones are doing pretty well. There is at least, let's say, 80 or 85% of the fuel left. The one I already used, well, that's out of this contest, so it doesn't matter. And the temperature still raises. We are at 77. So at least the pasteurization would be possible right now. And if we say with the pot cover, this temperature might be reached in about 30 minutes. You have to keep this temperature for at least 45 minutes to make it safe. This would make about 75 minutes. So you could repeat this process with your 3 tea lights completely charged in, yeah, you could, now I'm out. You could repeat this process 3 times, and this would give you 150 milliliters of drinkable water. Well, in a survival situation, you should drink 2.5 liters like normal. So this might get you through an extra half day, but under extreme conditions this wouldn't rescue you probably. But yeah, if you have a pot, if you have 3 tea candles, if you had a space that that's protected from the wind, if you had access to the water, and if you had the time and were not on the move, because that's obviously only possible if you're static, this could be a technique, yeah, that you could use. but still, it's relatively slow. I mean, it's obviously faster than using chemicals, but it drains a lot of your fuel from your candlelights, and of course you have to have the 3 candlelights. I don't think that this is going to work with only 2 of them. I mean, you could technically modify 1 candlelight and give it 2 or 3 extra wicks, so that it would produce the same amount of heat, but this would obviously drain your fuel much faster. So if you only had 1 tea candlelight, you had to multiply the time it took from now to from the beginning of the start to 75 degrees Celsius, which was about 30 minutes, plus the time you have to hold it, which is still 70 to 75 minutes, by 3. So you could only boil this water or purify this water 1 time at 250 milliliters. Wasted a complete candlelight. Well, that's certainly a decision you must make and take, but yeah, I wouldn't do this if this was my only tea candle. And yeah, light is also a very valuable thing in a survival situation. So yeah, you decide. And we are at 82 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to quit talking and we just see if we can reach the boiling point. Okay, we are reaching the 1 hour mark right now, and we are at 94.5 degrees Celsius. So right now I am almost confident that we reached the boiling point, and right now the water would already be safe to drink, because we invested so much time over the 75 degrees Celsius, and we are almost at 100%, so everything that could be dangerous for us that lives in that water would already be dead. I'm serious about it. So, is it possible? In theory, I think yes. Is it really practical? I don't think so, because like I said, this is under ideal conditions, and when you're out there in the wild, you never have ideal conditions. Your water will be a lot colder than the one we used here. You will never have a space that is so covered from the wind that there is not a single bit of movement in your flames. Even if you set up a wind protection around your stove, there will be still some movement in there. So yeah, I don't think that this is really the way to go, but now you know that it would be, in theory at least, be plausible, and that you could give it a go if you don't had any choice. And yeah, if you for some reason had only tea candles at your disposal, and you don't have firewood or some other material that you can burn and get a bigger and hotter flame out of. So, yeah. I think I will let this experiment go a little bit more off camera. Maybe I show to you if I reach the boiling point. Okay, I'm back for one very last time. We are at 1 hour, 6 minutes and 10 seconds right now, and as you can see and probably hear, we are definitely at a full and running boil. The temperature scale shows us 99.5 degrees Celsius, so definitely a run and boil, and I'm going to reveal this right now, hopefully without screwing up. Oh yeah, that's hot. Woohoo! What a pile of steam. And as you can see, it's really a full boil. It's bubbly in there. Okay. So, I hope you found this entertaining, and like always, yeah, be safe and everything, and yeah, I'm screwing up the end. Okay, thanks for watching, bye bye.